Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with the 2021 Kia Carnival. So this is the van that will be replacing the Sedona. This is a very, very well done minivan. We'll walk around it, have a look at it, just really quick. A couple of specs. More interior space, or more interior cargo space than a Chevy Suburban. Seating for up to 8, and a wonderful price tag. I'm amazed at how cheap this thing is in price, especially for what you're getting. It's such a nice vehicle. So let's go over it and have a look.
Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today's review is brought to you by the Gary Sinise Foundation. Click the link below and donate.
We'll start with that engine. So starting with the engine, this is a 3.5 liter V6, 290 horsepower. That's more than enough to motivate this. It drives really well. I'm pretty surprised at how well it drives, actually. And then you have some other added things you can see here. It has a fairly low overhang on the front, makes it really easy to maneuver. And then if you look at the back, you can see there's a fairly small overhang in the back as well. Also makes it easy to maneuver. So keep an eye on that as we walk around it and just look at those dimensions, look at that wheelbase, which is very long, and just get an idea of how well balanced this is and how well it drives. So fuel economy is important to people to buy these, so let's go right to that. 26 miles a gallon is the highway rating for this, and I was able to beat that by about half, so 26.5 was my average, give or take, and that's really good because I'm at very high altitude here. Now, my family owns a Kia Sedona, so we own what's now the outgoing minivan in its current generation, and very much like that van. It's a very good vehicle. So to see this be way better is a big leap forward. That's a great thing. So let's go through some of the features, have a look at what's going on with this, and talk about the styling. First thing to notice on this foggy morning is the style on the front end. This grille is completely different from what you'll see on other Kias right now. This is where Kia's going forward. You see the new Kia logo. I'm not a huge fan of this. It looks better in person than it does on camera, but even then, it still just makes me think of like it's like a distorted 9 Inch Nails logo or something, because I'm old. But you can see just the general styling here, the nice lines on the hood, and the LED lighting, which is nicely integrated and broken up, which is unusual. Usually you have one big piece for a light. This has several lights in a kind of a broken up fashion. Makes it look really cool. Also, I like how short the hood is and how flat the front is. Gives it kind of a crossover look, which is something that the Sedona has had since it began. So let's go around and look at the side profile, and then we'll talk about the interior. So seeing the van from its side, you can see it's again very crossover-like. The only giveaway is that cut opening on the back for the door to slide. Otherwise, it's very crossover. So you can see how fast it cuts off in the front. You can see how it's flat in the back, like an SUV would be, and a flat roof line with those roof rails up there. Very nice design overall. I'll walk into the picture and give you some perspective on how big or small you think it is. It's fairly tall, but not too tall. I can still reach the roof rack at 6'3". Somebody a little shorter than me would have more effort, more work cut out for them to do that. But this is not a functioning roof rack, but you can get one. So just looking at the lines, you can see the hood line here. It's a clamshell style hood, and then it starts a line that runs across in a little double. It's not quite 2 fingers wide. Runs all the way across above the door handles and back, which helps to mask this, which is this cutout for the slider for this rear door. And then look at the wheels. They're part of this packaging for this one. We'll look at them in Ronia a little bit later. And just look at the overall design. Now, one of the favorite things about this is right here. You see this beautiful piece of chrome work? It's just really awesome. It's a cool texture with that kind of, it catches a lot of light. and it pulls the eyes away from the size of that rear door. So it moves your eyes over there so you don't notice so much how big this door is, which is why this looks SUV instead of van. It's one of the things that helps with that. Now, standard across the board on this van are things like these electric sliding doors. So they're automated like that. You can open and close them several ways. You can open them with the key fob, so there's a button for each of the side doors on there. You can also open it by pulling the handle like I just did, and then from the inside you can pull the handle to close it or open it, or you can push this button that's right in here on the sidewall. So either way, there you go. Now this is the 8-seat configuration, so there is a middle seat in here. That middle seat is separate from the other two, so you can remove that to create capsule chairs. You can also fold it down to have a console. My kid's been doing that most of the week. I put it back up for some photos, but it's really easy. You just pull a strap over there and it drops down. So you can have that, and then in the back seat you have 3 more seats in that third row. Third row is pretty friendly. I had no issues getting in and out of it, and I'm a grown adult. I'll show you that in a minute. So, you know, I'm a big dude. I still go back there. Yeah, so that's kind of the side profile. Let's go look at the cargo in the back end, and then we'll get inside. So on the back end of the Carnival, you can see it's pretty plain and flat. They didn't go crazy with the design back here. The light goes all the way across, and then you have your third light up here. This doesn't actually illuminate very often. It does when you just have the running lights on, and then brake lights and so on. Nice, kind of a simple design. They didn't go too overboard, which I'm glad to see. One thing I would have liked to see is maybe to have this glass open on its own, but that's not really like a deal breaker. It's just a convenience. And when you open the hatch, you can see there's tons of room in here, and I can walk underneath this without smacking my head, which that's a van thing. It's pretty rare to see that in other vehicles. I think I left the radio running. But anyway, you have these seats here. They fold down into this. So if you see, this one is folded down right now. I can lift it up like that, and you have this deep tub, or I can make that into a regular seat. You have grocery hooks on both of these. You have tie downs down in the bottom there, and up here. These are net tie downs, so you could have a net across here. Really nice kind of a setup. There's an opening right here to set things in. I've been putting things that I didn't want to tip over from like the grocery store could go in there. There's another cubby up here, and just a good setup. There's a couple of plugs back here. The third row seats have USBs in the wall. Just some really smart little touches on this van. Let's go get inside. So sitting in the driver's seat, it's a very comfortable seat. It's easy to adjust everything to what you need. I have tons of headroom, probably almost 4 inches, maybe 3.5, and a wonderful interior for just sitting and driving. Controls are pretty intuitive. The one thing that's a big change as far as I'm concerned is the door controls. So you used to be able to push buttons to open and close the rear doors in the hatch. Those used to be up here. They're not. Now they're down over here on the left of the steering wheel. It takes a couple minutes to get used to it if you're used to it being up there. Other than that, it's lots of nice screen real estate. I'll show a couple of photos. Beautiful infotainment in this, and just a nicely laid out cabin in here. Wood, some faux wood inlay and a lot of other stuff. It's really great. There's a couple of things to note about this particular one, and the Carnival in general. That is, there's a whole lot of standard safety equipment, tons of it. Things like forward collision, and there's so many that I just have to use a list because there's forward collision avoidance, pedestrian detection, blind spot collision warning, rear cross traffic collision, parking distance warning, reverse, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist, lane follow assist, driver attention warning, high beam assist. I mean, holy crap. a handful of best-in-classes for this, including best-in-class interior space, best-in-class cargo room, best-in-class acceleration, which includes that 290 horsepower engine, which is going through an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's 0 to 60 is rated by Kia at 7.4. I didn't bother doing one because, I mean, it's a minivan, right? It's not like a muscle car. But I do know that it's exceedingly confident picking up speed. So if you pull out into traffic, like where I live, I have to often pull out into this sort of main road. And if you don't get up and go into that 40 mile an hour on that road, you're going to have a bunch of people behind you that are very angry. And this will outrun a bunch of things. It's really good. So kudos there. Very nicely done. Let's look at the back seats and yeah, and then we'll talk about the price tag and other things, the Monroney. So sitting in this back seat, I have lots of room. This seat is, the seat ahead of me is where I was just sitting, so that's set for somebody that's 6'3", and I'm behind it here with lots of leg room, plenty of knee room. I do wish these benches were slightly higher because my knees do bend, but again, I'm tall. When my kids are back here and when my wife's back here she's about 5'6", this is perfect. There's no problems at all. The center seat is more comfortable than expected. So when I'm sitting in it, I expect to be kind of crammed in. There is some shoulder room issues, but again, I'm a big dude. It's more comfortable than I thought it would be, and it's worth noting that all three, that both of these outboard seats have latch for car safety seat, and then this middle seat also has them. They're just a little more buried, but for parents that have small ones, it's awesome to be able to put them in the center instead of one side, so they can see out the front. So your kid can talk to you. You can see them in the mirror. There is a conversation mirror on this. There's also this conversation camera, which is pretty cool. It's one of the options for this, where you can talk to them via the infotainment, and it goes through the speaker system. You don't have to turn around and yell and all of that. Really, really cool. This also has the optional entertainment system, which are these two monitors back here. There's one here and one here. These have HDMI and USB plugs. There's also USB charging plugs built into the seat backs right here, just right there, for easy access for a person in the back seat. These are linked to the infotainment up front, so there's cool stuff. You can use the in-car Wi-Fi for things like streaming Netflix and stuff like that. Very cool. I really like the way these work. It's not as interactive as some other systems I've used where you can like play games together and stuff, but you can play games and do other things. It's a very cool system. It's pretty easy to understand too. Very crisp, clear screens. Now let's look at that third row. So the easiest way to access the third row is to pop this seat down and fold it forward. Now you see that gives you your access space. Now to get in, you just climb through like so, and have a sit down. Now, I don't have the headrest up, so it is hitting me in the back. But other than that, if I move that and I sit, this is actually a pretty comfortable third row. Now, again, the seats are a little bit low. I have long legs. If I pull this seat back, I'm still going to have leg room, because you can see this one, this middle part, was even with that. And I still have about 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches there. And I have easy access. I have a couple of drink holders. I have places to put things. You can sit 3 in this row, but I wouldn't do that unless they're kids. It is much more cramped than that second row up there. But wonderful setup. I got a USB in the wall. I've got, just nice things and easy access to a bunch of stuff. So to get back out, it's the same procedure, just reverse. There's sort of a grab right here, so you can grab onto this, and you can just scoot forward and climb out. Pretty cool. So there's the Kia Carnival. Let's look at the paperwork. Here's the Monroney, aka window sticker. You're looking at, I just want to give the total price because this is phenomenal. For everything you're seeing here in this particular one, which is the 2022 Carnival SX in ceramic silver with Tuscan umber on the interior. All of that great stuff. Look at that sheet. Is $42,770. That's with delivery. That is, holy crap, that is so low. That is such a low price. Manufacturer suggested is $41,100. The only additional installed equipment is $500 for this particular paint. Everything else is included in the SX package. You got the navigation with 12.3-inch screen. You got UVO, which is their infotainment setup. You got USB ports in all 3 rows. You got, I mean, wow, there's a lot of great stuff in this. So that is beautiful. I can't imagine that you're going to find a better deal right now. And then Kia has a wonderful warranty, so it's worth looking that up too. So there you go. I think I misstated it in the beginning when I think I called this a 2021. Anyway, that's what I got. There's a leaf on it. Anyway, so there you go. That's what I got. 2022 Kia Carnival. It's a great minivan. I kind of want one. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.